A day being a cat, I woke up with a gentle tug and a strange purr. At first, I thought someone was petting me, but when I opened my eyes, I discovered a pair of enormous green pupils that weren't mine. I looked at my paws, 4, and all with tiny sharp nails. Instinctively, I licked my nose. My tongue was rough, scraping like sandpaper. Then I understood. I had become a cat. With feline curiosity, I jumped from the human bed to the velvety floor. My hearing became super powerful. I heard the vibrations of a distant traffic light, the murmur of the refrigerator, and even the heartbeat of my sleeping neighbor. Quite a sensory feast. With excited meows, I left the room and entered the hallway. Each rug was a new territory to smell, each corner a mystery to explore. I arrived at the kitchen, an ocean of succulent smells. The can of tuna on the table called to me with a reassuring rumble. I leaped gracefully, or tried to, and knocked over a jar of cookies, sending a crunchy shower bouncing to the floor. Absolute delight. I dove into the air, devoured a couple of kibbles, and wiped my whiskers with cat-like dignity. Then, with ninja-like stealth, I slipped through the half-open window, lured by the call of a sparrow on the roof. I climbed like an acrobat to the sill and lay down in the morning sun. The warmth caressed my fur, and I closed my eyes to enjoy the soft hum of my own purr. How relaxing. No sooner had I fallen asleep than a flock of pigeons swooped down to peck at crumbs nearby. My hunting instinct kicked in. I stalked behind a vase, held my breath, and bam! I leaped with all the courage of a miniature tiger, only to be met with a pathetic flurry of feathers. The pigeons fled with indignant squawks, and I sat triumphant until one of my whiskers caught on the vase, producing a dry clatter. My pride wounded, I hopped away to a nearby garden. There I played with dry leaves, chased them like a great duckling hunter, and nibbled at a piece of grass, feigning indifference. A dog in the distance barked, but I simply arched my back and snorted with aristocratic dignity. I had never tasted such a powerful aura. The sun began to set, and I felt an urge to return. I climbed back to the kitchen window, this time with a more graceful leap. As I reached the bedroom, a flash of light enveloped me, and suddenly I was there again. Human body, human voice, 4 fingers, and opposable thumb. I opened my eyes and stretched out on my bed. It had all been a dream, or had it? I went down to the hallway, and to my surprise, found a small tuft of light gray fur on the carpet. I took it between my fingers, smelled it, and smiled. Those hours as a cat had taught me what it means to observe the world with other senses, to listen to the whispers of silence, to smell stories in a piece of cheese, to patiently watch the flight of a fly. Perhaps the purr will no longer remain with me, but I will retain the indelible memory of that feline kingdom where every mystery was an adventure. And so, as I tucked the memory tuft into a drawer, I knew that tomorrow I would wake up as myself, but that day I was a cat would live forever in my memory.